Okay. So yeah, so we're building disciples each and every day. And so if you look at all the stuff that you're learning in counseling, it's all the same. It's the same stuff that you're going to use when you're building disciples too, the psychology of things. They're going to have fears from the past or anxiety for the future. So, you're going to use counseling. They're going to have, um, maybe they are looking for how to build themselves. Maybe they've just been saved and they want to get out of any kind of world that they're in now and join a different world. So maybe vocational counseling or career counseling comes up. So this piece, we have a lot of assessments in it. It's not the most interesting thing that we can study, um, but it's really cool because you're gonna everything that you've already learned about counseling, you're going to incorporate into this. But you're just helping people to find. It's not just about finding a job; it's about finding who they are too in the whole course of this. So I don't know. As you read through the book, hopefully you're seeing some of those types of things of this is more than just finding people jobs and helping them do job searches. It's helping them to really discover who they are so that they're the best at whatever job that they do get into. Yeah. What have you guys kind of seen in your reading so far? I know it's only been 4 chapters, but what have you seen in your reading? Actually, it's been 6 chapters, isn't it? This is the third week. You might not have all of them done, but so what have you seen so far? Maybe something that, oh, oh, Carolyn's in the room with me, right? Because she does her internship here. Um, so she's getting ready to talk. And every time that she does, I'm gonna have to mute because we're on there. So let me.
So I kind of seen the same thing that you were saying. It's so you're kind of helping the person discover who they are, discover their talents, discover where they're weak, discover where their personality, um, and kind of pointing them that way as far as a career. But yeah, it is a lot of making them aware of who they are.
Absolutely. Good. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Who else?
I guess I've seen just that there's a lot of different ways to go about it, like a lot of different angles that you can come from to help somebody find their path or their gifts or callings.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of tools. So we're not in this alone. We don't have to remember any questions or anything. There's these tools, and it's almost like a whole system that's put together for us that we can follow to help them find. But then we're adding our emotions into in discovering their emotions through this whole thing. Let me tell you. So every once in a while, I'll tell you a story during this. So I had a job where I was kind of like a director over a real estate firm, and we started off with about 50 real estate agents in this office, and they were pretty much going bankrupt and everything too. It was in 2009, 2000. You know what was going on during that time. The market was tanking and all that stuff too. So anyway, one of my jobs in that was to recruit new people in to work. So I would get people in who hadn't even been in the business or anything. So this one lady came in and she just said, "Hey, I'm at my end. I don't know what to do. I'm 60 years old. I've had cancer for the last three or 4 years or whatever. I've had chemo and radiation. I don't have a family. Just she's just alone and everything too." And so I just sat down with her and just through discovery, I just knew that, real estate wasn't going to be the best avenue for her. But she was just like saying, I just got to do something. Right. So we sat there probably 2 hours or where we cried together and everything, through this whole thing. But we just kind of really discovered that she had a passion for people as well. So and at 60, what do you do with that thing? So we were just kind of, look through, some jobs, that would be good for her. Spent that time doing that. And finally, I mean, she came back to me in 2 weeks and said, hey, I found something, that really fits me. I'm this is something I can thrive in. And then I think 6 months later, talked to her again. She was just as happy as can be. No cancer, all of this stuff too. And I mean, it just seemed like her life had really changed. But it was taking somebody that had almost no hope and had a lot of fear and was scared about their future and all that, and just listening to them and just saying, hey, um, we can't help you here, but we can help you, and discover who you are so that you can be the best at something else. And I had her do a couple of other assessments, kind of personality type tests and everything, and what would her personality kind of fit into. And I mean, it was just awesome just watching that whole thing, but just taking just one person and just seeing the life change in that. So I don't know, there's a range of emotions, I would imagine, in career and vocational counseling, and probably even where it's different wherever you start, because not too long ago they started, even in with young kids, so what's your personality type and all that, so you should fit into this type of thing and follow this path if that's what you like. Doesn't mean they have to, of course. So all the way through junior high school, into college, helping people. And it's like, if you don't know what you're going to be doing by the time you're 16 or something in most of these high schools, they don't know what to do with you. It's like, they want you to follow a path by then. When I was 16, I didn't know anything of what I was wanting to do. And I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up, Anyway, okay, so let's do some introductions. And who wants to start? Bryce, you want to start? Miss Bryce.
Yep, Mrs. Bryce. That's what all the kids call me, Mrs. Bryce. Bryce obviously is my husband.
Yeah.
I'm Alicia, and we live in a rural part of Colorado, the flat part before you get to the mountains. So we can see the mountains, but we're not quite there at the mountains. We've lived here for my husband's been we run a youth center here in Simla, and that came out of a need for the teens to have something to do out here. It takes about an hour to get to any shopping malls or movie theaters or anything like that. So about 26 years ago, my husband started a youth center here, and then we were married about a year later. And so I also joined in on the youth center, and we've been doing that for the last 25 years. And
Wow.
so we work with elementary all the way up through high school, and I guess kind of some college kids now too. He's standing over there in the background, but yeah, and we do some counseling and things like that through it, and then so that's what prompted me to get education and counseling, because we were seeing the need more and more with the teens and the families that were coming to us. And then I began in my bachelor's program, began the internship at our local school for counseling. And so they have continued to let me come back and work with kindergarten through 12th grade, kind of meeting with them and doing some counseling and advocacy for them.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to meet Alicia face to face, what, 2 weeks ago? Was it been 2 weeks?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been awesome getting to meet people that I only get to see online. So it was very cool. Yeah. So are you still going to pursue licensing for licensure?
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. Very good. Yeah. Just let me know how I can help with that, of course.
Okay. Thank you.
Can't wait to get you in the internship class.
Yes.
Okay. Jonelle, you want to go?
Yes, sir. My name is Janelle Arcedera. I'm a Filipino. My work is in the Philippines, and our ministry is camping ministry, Bible Institute, working with local churches, and also university campus ministry. Our camping ministry, we average 33,000 to 35,000 campers every year. We have 2 locations, and our Bible Institute, we have people from Indo-Pacific region because we work with 14 countries in our region, New Zealand, Australia, Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Indonesia, Thailand, Taiwan, Vietnam, Myanmar, India, Bangladesh, South Korea, Japan. So all those countries we work with, and they're sending their young people to our Bible Institute. That's exciting that our country is a sending country to reach Asians with the gospel of Jesus
I
Christ.
love that, man. That is so cool.
So my main ministry, I started with camping ministry. I'm a little goopy when I started. I like to do a lot of things that our campers will enjoy. Eventually, they moved me to a different department where I work with local churches, train leaders, and travel to different islands. By the way, we have 7,000 plus islands in the Philippines, and we hop around. You travel by boat, you travel by land, you travel by plane. It depends upon how the island that you're going.
Yeah.
And just recently, World Life International, our home office in Florida, asked me to be the new director because our director moved to a regional director, which covering 14 countries. So my additional ministry is helping new missionaries to discover their gifts, their talents, but also their career, whether they're going to work with Bible Institute, camping ministry, local church ministries or youth, but also find their calling. So I think with everything I've been learning between Bible, theology, and especially counseling, a huge help with the new role that I've been doing. So I'm excited to learn about this. I did last night about the assessment.
Uh-huh.
I'm strong in INS. So I'm gonna do this with my staff. I have 12 managers that I'm working with.
Yes.
So I'm gonna give it to them and say, hey, please take a look, and maybe that will be a window for me to minister with them. So,
Absolutely. Here's the thing, about the disc test, and we'll talk more about it. I love it, but it's really an easy thing. And it's like one of these ones, it's not a high level. So it'd be like a really good introductory test to do. And what I used to do is when I gave it to people, I gave it so many times, and just from talking to people about 15-20 minutes or so, it's almost like I could pick out what their disc was going to be, so I've got some things to go through that, but it is a really good introductory thing. Now there's other personality tests, like Jeff gives one. It's called the Berkman, right? And I highly recommend, if you guys haven't done that yet, to do it. It's really a good tool, and it's more in depth than what the disc is. It's a lot like the disc, but it's just way more in depth. So I highly, if you guys can do it, I would do it. Well, that's excellent. So I love that this class is going to help you, with people. And and it's, the thing is, watching how God works in their lives, and how God works through you to help them to discover their tools and their what they're good at, and putting them into something so that they can enjoy God's gift for them too, right? Anyway, so this is awesome. I'm so happy for you. Glad you're thriving in what your mission is.
hey, sir, during my internship, I did counsel a pastor who has depression, and recently I got a note that he said, Janelle, you are God sent. I'm recovering from it, and he said, I want to talk to you and share what God has done in my life. So such amazing to see.
That Oh man, so thank you for telling me that. That's so cool. And okay, here's the one thing: as counselors, we do a lot of seed planting, right? And you're not always going to see that what comes out of that seed, but we can plant that and hope, and in hopes, or even transferring, to somebody else, that they're going to do the watering and things of that too, especially getting them into a church if they haven't been in a church and stuff. So it is so awesome that you do get to see some of the fruits of your labor, what you've planted, because you're not always going to get to see that in anything that you do, in any ministry you do. It's always going to be like that, but it's so cool to be able to. So I love the game of golf. I'm terrible at it. I won't play anymore. I'm a tall guy, and so my swing, there's all kinds of things that can go wrong with it, and it usually does. Okay, so I'm all over the place. But one guy told me, it was like, if you get one really good hit each time you go out, that's what brings you back. So it's kind of like counseling. It's like, you have a great, you may have 8 sessions in a day, and maybe 1 or 2 of them, are good, that feel good or whatever, and maybe 6 of them don't, but it's those 2 that keep bringing you back. And then then sometimes the other ones get better. So it's just yeah, it's always going after those good things, that watching God work in their lives. So thank you, Janelle. Carolyn, here, let me mute myself. Go for it.
All right. I'm Carolyn, and I recently become like an empty nester. So I even have more time to do ministry and to do school. I just finished up my master's. So I finished up my bachelor's when I was getting close to empty nesting, and then went into my master's and finishing that up in May. So I'm graduating. I'm really excited about that. I am going the licensure route. And so gearing up to take my test for licensure here in the state of Missouri. let's see. So I specialize kind of like with children, even though I'm doing more than that. So about mid elementary on up, I counsel with junior high, high school. Ladies, I've just started couple counseling. I do EMDR, which is something I really like and enjoy. See great results from that. Teach yoga. So yeah, I'm just kind of entering into a new phase of life, getting ready to and starting a career. So that's kind of where I'm at. Um, Getting ready to in August start working at a school, just on 1 day a week, teaching there, or not counseling there. So yeah, that's kind of where my life is headed and my ministry. So
Yes. Okay. Hey, thanks. Yeah. So what's really cool, she's at our counseling center, and we did just work with it's a little town outside of Kansas City, Harrisonville, and to get her into there to work with the kids there. They don't have I think they do have a school counselor there, but either the school counselor is so overwhelmed or they don't have one. I can't remember what they had said, but anyway, she's going to be able to help even dive deep with these people. You know, when I talked to the person that needed, you know, a counselor out there, this person said that they have so many kids that are coming from homes where uh, they need help and there's just none. And, you know, you'll just see a huge behavioral difference in these kids just by, you know, the counseling. And in our ministry here at Abundant Life, we're starting some new ones, which I want to get Alicia to help us a little bit if she's available. But we're doing fostering and adoption care here. It's probably not going to start till July. But we're kind of gearing up here for it too, and getting counselors on board that can work with that type of demographic. And so it's cool that, you know, Carolyn has that heart for that, and then we have an avenue for her to have outreach from our church into, you know, a community, and, you know, help from Abundant Life standpoint in a Christian worldview. So it's very cool what she's doing. And then also she does a thing. It's yoga, Christian yoga, you know, and we've got some members on staff, and then we've got some clients that are coming in and experiencing that, and it's just helping them out. And so much. I would love for her to talk about that a little later, but she's doing really good work. All right, Tara. Last but not least.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
A little technically challenged, but yes. So I'm Tara Meyer, and I live in Rochester, Minnesota. And I've done several different careers, and so this is hopefully my last one. But I'm just getting started out. I work with an organization called Salt and Light, and we provide chaplains for the first responders in our community. And so I work with the sheriff's office in our county, and I'm just starting. I get to do ride-alongs, but we've had a few critical incidents and things like that. And so just trying to build relationships, so then when these things come up, they will call us in and we're able to support them, their families. We're doing a couple different things, events coming up in the next few months to provide opportunities to just meet their families and provide, whether it's marriage counseling down the way or some trauma, you know, things that just gives us the opportunity to be able to be there at those touch points.
Wow. And how long you been doing that now?
Since November.
Very cool.
It's been a slow process. It's a very hard population to build trust.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. When I was doing more counseling, I was working with a lot of policemen and firemen. And I'm telling you, I mean, because it is a brotherhood, that they have, they almost try to go to each other, but really they say, hey, we've got this brotherhood, but they don't open up to each other. And it's hard for them to open up because I just know that they think that any sign of weakness that the person next to them is going to think that they're weak, instead of if they show any emotion, I should say. And it's a really tough for them to just be one way at work and one way at home, so that's
I
doing
was
a lot.
really surprised that they just now started a peer support program. I mean,
I know.
it's brand new. So they
Yeah.
haven't had any kind of debriefing after critical incidences, nothing.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I'm so glad to hear, man, you guys are doing so many good things, you guys are doing awesome. Okay. Well, we did the introductions. Let me